Everybody, this is my first long form garden video. I'm going to post this on YouTube and put a link to it on my Instagram because my Instagram stories have been the media through which I've shared my garden primarily thus far. But I wanted to make a little bit more of an official video that can kind of be more accessible after the story expires. And yeah, so for some reason I feel more nervous, and I feel like the stories, I think I like that you have 60 seconds at a time. But I also have a pause button here, so it's fine. We're good. So I don't know about y'all, but Memorial Day weekend was always the time that my family would put in our garden, or at least get the ball rolling. We would till and all that good stuff. The groundwork that has to be done, literal groundwork, that has to be done before anything can be planted. And we've had a busy calendar lately. We've got a lot going on. A lot of changes, good changes happening in our lives right now. And so it's been a little bit of a juggling act to get the garden in, but I was just able to just do it piece by piece, you know, an hour here and an hour there, and now it's in. So let's get started. Over here is my green stock, and we do have all 5 tiers filled now. We have 2 beet varieties. I think these are called baby beets, which they are smaller. I think these are supposed to be an early beet, so hopefully they will mature quickly. Lettuce. Now these starts were very sad and pitiful, so the fact that some of them are bouncing back and looking healthy is really exciting. I have some lettuce seeds I planted in case the seedlings don't do well. Up here I have a basil plant that I wish you could smell. I just harvested the top and used it in a quiche. It smells amazing. I just smelled my fingers because, oh my goodness. So that is sweet basil. This is lemon basil, which I make the mistake of smelling the sweet basil first because comparatively this one smells like nothing, but it smells good too. It's just much more mild. And then I threw in some cosmos. I wanted at least one of the buckets to have flowers, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's almost full and I haven't done any flowers yet. And then the top tier, I just put all the tomato plants that wouldn't fit in my garden. These are the underdogs, the little ones, but I hope that being right here in really good soil, lots of sun on this patio, being on the top tier, they'll get a jump start. We'll see what they do. Today I washed all of my seedling cups, cleaned them up. They were just like a mess as I was planting the garden. I wasn't cleaning up as I went. I was just, you know, happy-go-lucky, putting seedlings in the ground, and I cleaned up today. So it all worked out. All right, let's go to the garden. The garden. The garden's all over the yard, but you know what I mean. Hi, Keely. Okay, the question is, do you notice anything different besides tiny little plants in the ground? Can you see the great, hideous orifice that we put up? Not orifice. Okay. So we put up an 8-foot deer fence. We did it in like, I want to say 3 hours time. It wasn't as complicated as I thought it would be. Sam is going to build a cute gate. Actually, I think I'm trying to find like a cute door or screen door on Facebook Marketplace that we can convert into a gate. So that's in the works. But for now, we're just doing this thing with Jig. Yes, Goldilocks. Goldilocks has been doing his job well. I just made quiche, and yes, the eggs were interesting. Enough said. Okay, look at these little marigolds. Aren't they darling? I've spread them throughout the garden. There are 3 more there. Might see a couple over here. Couple over here. Marigolds are supposed to be a natural bug detractor. So this sort of zigzag ordeal here is all pole beans. You can see I used some of the deer fence and just folded it over because these obviously are not 8-foot posts. So by zigzagging it, I think I maximize this space instead of just doing, I could have only fit 2, 3 at the most rows this way. So I zigzag them and I have 8 shorter ones. So I'm pretty excited about that. There's a volunteer coming up over here that may or may not be morning glories, because last year that is what morning glories look like. However, there was a weed that also looked like this. So I'm waiting to see. I am anticipating that morning glories are going to be something of a weed. It's hard to believe, right? They're one of my favorite flowers, but I do hear that they can really overtake a space. So the fact that I planted them last year means I will probably be fighting them for years to come, and I'm okay with that. But we'll see. Nasturtium, only 2 of my nasturtium seeds sprouted, but they're both beautiful. I have them here protecting my zucchini hill. So I made this giant hill, and I was very excited at how workable the soil was. Much easier to make this hill than it was last year, which is encouraging. It speaks to my soil health. But also, I was planting the garden in a drizzle, so most of the garden went in during the rain we've been having, and I actually didn't mind it because I wasn't hot, the ground was incredibly soft, and it wasn't pouring, so I was actually kind of a fan, and it was like very quiet outside. So guys, the first thing I planted was everything that's going to climb on this arch. I planted them a week ago, and they're sprouting, guys. It's their birthday. We have cucumbers, which I haven't done cucumbers in a few years, so I'm very excited. I double planted the seeds, so I will have to thin those out eventually. Sad day. The potatoes are supposed to be deterring pill bugs / potato bugs. We'll see, because when I put the seeds in the ground, I saw a lot of pill bugs. Pill bugs are good once plants get big, but when they're in seedling form, the pill bugs might eat them. So these are pumpkins. I have 1 cucumber variety, 2 pumpkin varieties, and then 2 winter squash varieties. I don't see any of the winter squash yet. They're here on the back trellis, but I expect to see those soon. Look at that little marigold. So beautiful. Okay. Turning around here. I did 3 rows of tomatoes, 3 rows of 5, and then 6. Somewhat fewer than I usually do, but I also space them out better this year, and so I think each plant will be able to yield more tomatoes because I'll have the space. I already see a lot of growth in these. When did I put these in the ground? Put this one in Sunday, and I think I put that one in Sunday, and the rest I put in Monday morning. And look, they're already showing how happy they are to be in the ground. You know, they were much taller than they appear now. I bury most of the stem. I remove the lower leaves and bury most of the stem because tomato stems love to grow roots. So it's so pretty. Guys, I can't even tell you just how right it feels to be in the garden, how much peace I feel in the garden, how goofy I get in the garden. It's like I have this organic high. It's like non-substance related high. I get a high from the soil. Let's be real. Okay, then I have a row of eggplants. I have 2 varieties of eggplants, but when I had the little greenhouse disaster, many of the tags fell out. So I am not sure what is what. I think these larger ones are the new variety, which is Turkish orange. So excited for that brilliant orange color. I think these smaller ones with the softer leaves are the black beauties that I planted last year. So, but time will tell for sure. And then my stunted little pepper plants. This is the largest one. That tells you something. So I have 8 of those that survived, and they're in this little area. I didn't know until last year that peppers like to be close to each other. So my pepper plants are just in this little clump over here. The peas are producing. They taste great. I just kind of snack on them, mostly when I'm already out here. Then I have a row of zinnias. A lot of these things look so small, but I know that in a few weeks they will explode. And then I have a row of Coreopsis, which I could cheat and Google it, but right now I don't remember even what Coreopsis looked like. I just remember they looked pretty in the seed catalog, so I might just let myself be surprised. I put a bunch of those flowers in my sort of urns up in front of my house. So, one more thing. Oh, I almost walked through the fence. You can see all those buckets. The potatoes are really happy. I think they are. They do get a lot of shade here, which from a temperature standpoint is good, because if they get too hot, they'll go to flower and go to seed, and that means they won't put out any more roots, so they won't grow any more potatoes. But I'm not sure they're getting enough sun. I think that might be why they've shot so tall so fast. Sam trimmed a good bit of tree branch in order to put the fence, so I think they're getting a little more sun now. So 2 birds with 1 stone there. Let me show you a snap pea. They grow really fast, like in a day. So refreshing. All right, let's go to the front. So I kid you not, before we were even done putting up the fence, somebody let the dogs out of the house, and they did their thing where they dash across the yard in play mode. Nai, the older of the 2, crashes into the newly built right there. I just see her like, I'm like, stop, it's too late. Hits it, does a little like somersault, and she was fine. The fence did a clean break along this post. It was a very clean break. It was very easy to fix, but I was like, oh, I was like, snap. And it hasn't happened again. She just literally didn't know it was there. So I was like, great. The dogs are not going to respect this fence, but they do. They do. So as long as the deer respect it, we're golden. Look at the turkey. It's hilarious when 2 or 3 of them line up on that trash can and look like they're trying to roll it and walk in place. Or when they slide off of it, it looks like it's on purpose. It's like their little playground. Be good, Kayla. Be good. Be good. No, no. No, no. Turkeys are friends, not food. Not yet, anyway. Not for you. Here is my asparagus / chamomile bed. Asparagus are beautiful and feathery now. Chamomile I just put in yesterday, and I'm so excited to see it just erupt and fill this space. It feels so good. I can't even tell you how good it feels to have all my seedlings out of the little pots and in the ground. Like, I tend to just like procrastinate and leave a couple trays unplanted until I decide where I want them to go. And this year I'm like, I'm not doing that. One and done. We'll be messy for a few days and then we'll clean up instead of this long drawn out thing. So it feels so good. And my seedlings, like this year, it was just such an ordeal. Like I moved them so many times and the whole greenhouse thing falling over. I'm just so, and they're not the biggest seedlings I've ever grown. Like my tomato plants weren't the biggest, but they also like were healthy. They weren't like too leggy or too big. So I feel like it was still a pretty successful seedling year. Yeah. I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting, but check out this geranium plant. I predicted that the geraniums would come back to life in this little garden box, and lo and behold, geraniums. This one's even about to flower. Pretty cool. Oh, so is the iris that I put in the ground a few weeks ago. My grandma gave me these iris starts, bulbs, I guess. So I didn't expect to see any this year. And then I filled these planters with flower seedlings. Cosmos, Coreopsis, can't remember the name of that one right now. Angelonia. So we'll see what they do. This is a volunteer. It was planted in here last year, and it's come up here and right there. I'm gonna put some wildflower seeds in here, like I did last year. So, yeah, it's like Ohio or anyone in this zone. It's just the summer garden comes and goes so fast, but we spend so much time looking forward to it, planning for it. I do want to get better at the cool weather garden. I'm hoping to start seedlings soon for things like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, those things that are true vegetables where you're not eating the fruit of the plant, you're eating the shoots or the flower or the leaves, because those are true vegetables. And they taste better in cool weather because that's when the plant is able to store up the sugars. So we'll see. But that's what's going on here. Thanks for joining me, and happy gardening.